Well, welcome to Bourbon Riders. In tonight's first pour series, we're going to crack open the Casey Jones Barrel Cut. Now, I was at a bourbon tasting recently at Uncle Jack's in Canton, Georgia, one of my local bottle shops that I visit pretty regularly. I like those folks over there, and they were telling me about a bourbon tasting that I think Atlanta Beverage was putting on for Casey Jones. And they would, be sampling the different lineup they have, and this barrel cut was one of them. So it was like on a Friday night, and I went down there and had a nice conversation with the Atlanta Beverage representative, and got to taste several of the bourbons and tasted this barrel cut, which I tell you, I assumed it was a bourbon because to me it tasted like a bourbon, but really it's designated as a craft spirit, distilled from corn and cane. But it really does resemble a bourbon, and if you're a bourbon lover, you like something sweet and a little proofy, I think you'll like this. So we'll just read a little bit about it on the bottle. It says, crafted from a long family tradition, Casey Jones Barrel Cut brings you rich Kentucky taste, distilled and aged to perfection. Master distiller Arlon A.J. Casey Jones brings you his very own creation. Casey Jones Distillery Barrel Cut, paying honor to the Kentucky tradition. Barrel Cut starts out as the very best of our family recipes that are mellowed in wood-fired, charred oak barrels till it's time to bottle. Each small batch is inviting and intriguing with taste that's a little sweet and spicy and a lot irresistible. Today's new taste, tomorrow's classic, Casey Jones Barrel Cut. Well, nice little commercial there on the side. The bottle also says that the whiskey is square pot distilled and bottled by Casey Jones Distillery in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. It's authentic square pot distilling, it says on the side. And if you'd like to know more about the product, they've got the website here. It's CaseyJonesDistillery.com, and we'll put that on the bottom of the screen for you. So it's technically it's not a first pour, but I didn't pour it last time, so for me it's a first pour. I have tasted it, I liked it, that's why the bottle is here, and it won some kind of award. What does it say here? The Fred Minnick Ascot Awards. It won a platinum in the corn and cane spirits. I like Fred. He's a good reviewer. So if he says it's pretty good, it's good enough for me to buy a bottle and try it out and let you know what I think about it. So we've already taken off the plastic, and let's see what kind of pop we got. Nice pop. Old-fashioned bottle, nothing crazy about it. Nice thick glass. Pretty heavy. Let's get some chugging going on. Nice. Like I said, they've got several versions. They've got, I think, a black label, a white label, and go to their website and learn more about them, because I tasted 3 or 4 of their lineup, and I liked all of them. It just happened to be that I liked this barrel cut the best. So let's see how it swirls. Kind of a golden amber, I'd say, and light film, and some nice legs going on there. So let's see what the nose thinks. Wow, that is a very hefty aroma. Very corn forward, cane sugar sweetness, more of a white than a dark or brown sugar. Maybe some vanilla there, and some proof. It almost smells like a liqueur or a cordial. Now, I remember tasting it. I wouldn't have bought it if it had tasted like a liqueur or a cordial. I like my bourbon sweet or my whiskey sweet, but not that sweet. Cheers. You definitely get some baking spice on the tip of the tongue. It's a little bit peppery. Then that sweetness rolls across the palate. I do get a little bit of dark fruit, not very heavy, but mostly the corn and the cane, basically the ingredients of the mash bill, does come forward. So you are tasting a sweet whiskey, but it doesn't taste as sweet as it smells. This is not anywhere close to some of my bourbons, like my Old Ezra, for example. This is not as sweet as the Old Ezra is. Let's take another sip. It's very Bourbon-esque, though, as far as the flavor goes. I mean, there's no rye content that I know about, but that traditional corn is coming across. And the cane, well, you get sweetness from a lot of things in bourbon. The cane certainly coming across and providing that sweetness as well. So it's not as deep and dark as, let's say, some of my cask strengths, like my Elijah Craig or even my Larceny Barrel Proof. It doesn't have the darker, richer flavors that has, but it has a good viscosity. It has a similar sweetness to either of those two. And it's nice because it's not harsh, even at the 104 proof. I really do not taste the proof. I smelled a little bit in, but as far as tasting it, you really don't notice it. Let's take another sip. I do have a nice little Kentucky Hug rolling in. It's good. I think I paid around $41 for this, and we'll put that on the screen. I would tell you that for what I'm getting, I think it's probably maybe a little higher than it should be. That I would probably like to see the price for this closer to like my Cooper's Craft Barrel Reserve. Low to mid 30s I think would be an excellent price point for this, since it's not a true bourbon. Okay, final thoughts. I will tell you that I like the Casey Jones Barrel Cut. It's a very simple whiskey, not a bourbon apparently. It does have a lot of bourbon tasting profiles to it. It's slightly sweet. I think the proof is perfect for this particular blend. And I think at $41, it's fair. I would like to see it a little less expensive. And I think it's definitely worth you trying. So the question is, what is our recommendation? You know, we have a 5-level recommendation system, 1 through 5, 1 being the highest. And a lot of cases when I'm not sure whether I'm recommending a bourbon, I'll say give it like a level 3. Basically, we like it, get a good price for it, find it on sale. We're not telling you to go and make it your next purchase. For the Casey Jones Barrel Cut, I'm going to have to tell you that I'm going to put it about a 3.5, which is halfway between shop and get it a good price, because I do think that this bourbon should be sub $40. And you may want to try it before you spend any money on it, because it is not a bourbon, and it is this craft spirit distilled from corn and cane. It may not be your thing if you're a bourbon lover. You may go like, oh, that's too simple, or it's too sweet, or it's just not my thing. Well, I did the same thing on the 13th Colony. It's not that I didn't like the 13th Colony. I thought it was different. I thought it wasn't a traditional bourbon, It wasn't something that I was used to, and although I liked it, I couldn't recommend you going and buying it. I recommended you going and tasting it. So we're going to give it a 3.5. If you find it at a good deal, and certainly I don't think you'll hate it. But if you can find it from a friend, find it at a bar, restaurant, come over to my house. I'll give you a taste. I think it sits between the 3 and the 4. There's not very often that I usually split the numbers, but tonight I like it, but I'm concerned that you might not. So 3.5, you make your decision whether you want to try this. And you may want to try the regular Casey Jones bourbon first, and then if you want to go to a higher proof, you like that taste profile. I'm sure the taste profile probably carries forward to some degree into the barrel cut. Try the barrel cut second. Maybe that's the best recommendation I can get. We hope you liked this video and you'll subscribe for more content like this. We're now doing through the summer not only 2 first pours a week, we're adding some new shows in to see how you like them, to test them out during the summer. And if they work out, we'll put them in the fall lineup, just like the TV shows, right? Well, please always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and don't be afraid to try something new. See you next time. Come over to my house. I'll give you a taste.